Hi, I'm Julie Coons, and I'm here with another episode of ERAtv. Today I'm here with Shane Lundy of BySafe. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great. Well, tell us, what causes a real lack of consumer confidence when consumers shop online?
Yeah, the real issue is it really goes back to the core of what drives human behavior, and fundamentally it's fear. And so when you think about people are more likely to move away from things that cause pain or creates fear than they are to move towards pleasure, and that shopping in and of itself for a lot of people is a hobby and they like it to be pleasurable, those two things are somewhat opposed to each other. So the reason that fear exists is it's fundamentally a disconnected purchase experience because the people can't touch it and feel it and see it, and there's really nothing we can do today from a technology perspective to address that. There's some opportunities in the future for some great inventors to address that issue. But some of the other concerns that can be addressed is there's a higher level of perceived risk when shopping online. They're worried about their identity being stolen. They're also worried about, hey, is this merchant even legitimate? Are they going to live up to their terms of sale? Is the product authentic? And so that's a real concern with a lot of consumers. And then lastly, they're really concerned about price, because there's a veritable plethora of choices online that with so many choices it creates price uncertainty, and if a consumer gets to that shopping cart and is having any questions about whether they're getting a good price, they're going to abandon the shopping cart, look around, possibly buy from a competitor, but most likely they're going to go buy offline.
Well, do we have any supporting evidence around a lot of these fears?
Yes, we do. I mean, there's been a lot of focus from the FTC, the FBI, a lot of companies from VeriSign that have really been trying to quantify what is it that is driving this lack of consumer confidence when shopping online. And so according to the FTC, that 1 in every 47 Americans will be a victim of identity theft this year that originated with an online transaction. That's pretty powerful. And what most consumers feel is that by shopping with the bigger brands, their information is more safe. But it's actually the opposite of that. Because when you think about the hackers, what do they want? They want to hack the big databases. And so you're actually safer shopping from a less known merchant with a smaller database. So it's a bit of a paradox there. The other thing is, as it relates to the FBI, and all the complaints that are issued to the FBI as it relates to online retailer is about non-performance. 61% of those are due to non-performance. And again, that goes from the small brands all the way up to the big brands that are not delivering on their fundamental terms of sale. Refund policies, products are broken and they're not replacing them without major hassle factors, without the Better Business Bureau getting involved, without the FBI saying, hey, you need to resolve this issue. So that's a big concern. And then lastly, according to BizRate, that 45% of all the people that shop online consider price to be the most important thing.
Well, if we could solve these very legitimate consumer fears and actual instances of real problems for consumers, how big do you think that online market would be?
Yeah, I think before you can quantify how big it can be, let's talk about commerce as a whole. So last year alone, there's $10 trillion of commerce done in the United States, according to the Department of Commerce. And according to their research, they're saying that, $3 trillion should and could be done online. Well, the sad thing is, good news, bad news, right? Only $200 billion estimate was done last year online. So that means that as an industry, it's kind of encouraging to think that we've only achieved 7% of our potential. But there's so much more that can be done to help accelerate that growth. So when you look at the research from Forrester, they're projecting that 12% annual growth rate in the United States. That sounds really cool. But when you're starting at less than 7%, it's going to take another 5 years before the industry reaches 10% of its potential. And we believe, and have a lot of supporting evidence, that the systemic issue there is a lack of consumer confidence.
Very interesting. Well, then how does BySafe address consumer confidence?
I think that's a great question, and the way that we do it is we work with over 5,000 online retailers, and we teach them how to merchandise what's called a purchase guarantee. BySafe's the sole source provider of these purchase guarantees. We're backed by Liberty Mutual, Ace, Assurant, Travelers. VeriSign's actually an investor into us as well. And really what we do is we provide a guarantee that addresses those three primary concerns we talked about. So when you purchase from a BySafe merchant, you get blanket identity theft protection for 30 days. Doesn't matter how or where it happens, you have blanket protection. We also provide a purchase guarantee that says that, hey, for any reason, if the merchant doesn't live up to their terms of sale, you make a claim with us, we'll make you whole, we'll work it out politely behind the scenes with the merchant. So we work very much like an outsourced dispute resolution solution for those online retailers, which is a real brand lifting experience for that actual merchant, and helps often cure and remedy a relationship that was really going south. And then lastly, we provide a low price guarantee, and BySafe underwrites the cost of this, which means that if you come in, you buy a product for $100, and you come back next week, which we want you to come back and check, you come back next week and you see it for $50, you make a claim with BySafe, BySafe will pay you the $50, not the merchant itself. So that really, because marketers are very smart these days, they know if you're a repeat purchaser, and you can offer continuity products and upsells and cross-sells to really increase the conversion rates, repeat purchases, and overall satisfaction with that consumer.
Wonderful. Well, Shane, thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for joining us for another episode of ERAtv.